Hello everyone and welcome to my coloring corner. Today is Final Touches Thursday, and I think I'm going to have to rename Thursdays because I never end up doing any final touches. I continue on a page that sometimes takes a little bit longer than I anticipated. So yesterday we finished her dress and the mushroom, and today we're going to work on a couple of the moons. I'm going to do the big moon. The little moons I'll do on my own, and some of the leaves, and maybe one or two of these here, and I will continue on those on my own as well. So let's get started. I'm going to switch it over to the close-up camera. And of course we are still using the Prismacolor colored pencils. I did put in the gold yesterday as well, and the silver, so you can see that reflecting on you. Oh, and of course we're going to do the hair on Saturday, as well as the wings and that sort of stuff. So let's get started. So I'm going to start with slate gray in these darker areas. Not too worried about the light stuff, taking over this area. Because it's a hole in the moon. Then we're going to take a little bit of, no, don't want indigo, 90% gray. Oh, of course, and now somebody's at my door. They can leave the package, it's fine. It'll probably just be somebody. There's some construction work going on, so there's lots of trucks and stuff going down the street. Shyla hears them and goes, "Hey, wait a minute. Are you at my house?" And they're not. And then she stops barking. And of course I am completely off camera. Sorry guys. So I've got the slate gray underneath, and now I'm going over it in the darkest part of the shadow with the 90% gray. And getting that filled in. And then we're going to take this one here, which is, no, that's slate gray. I just had that one. I'm going to take the jade green and fill it in. I might have to put a little bit more slate gray in that. Like so. And of course you can always add more, touch up, and change the colors as you go. And we'll take a little bit more of the 90% cold gray. And just touch that up a little. There we go. There is our first part of the moon. I'm going to tip you up so I can actually keep the book on the desk. Now we're going to do this one here, and because this one is less, I'm actually just going to fill it in with the jade green first. And then we'll come back and work on it. And I'll put in the slate gray. so. And the cold gray. Now, if you don't want your lighter colors to take over your darker colors, because that is something that happens especially with grays, put your lightest colors down first and then work into your darker colors. If you want to spread the darker colors a little bit and blend it into those lighter colors, put it down, then take your lighter colors and move them into each other. Sorry about that. I had a crumb that I didn't want taking over there. Now we're going to take this cold gray again, and we're just going to go right around the crater like that. And that is a part of her wing because it's the same on the other side. This is moon crater, moon crater, moon crater, and moon crater. Figuring out what things are is sometimes the most difficult thing about a picture. Okay, so because these are so small, I'm not going to be using a whole bunch of the dark gray, but we are still going to go around the craters. Like that. Now, for the rest of it, we're going to take this one, and this one. And we're going to start with the lightest color. So we're going to start with the gray-green light. And I'm going to grab my brush. It's here somewhere. There it is. And we're going to do the entire moon. With the gray-green light. First of all. And I'm just putting in a light layer of the lightest color because we will be coming back to this color after we get down the other colors. This is a very, very pale color, so it might be difficult for you guys to see it. Let's see if I can turn that off where you can actually see the color. It's almost a white green. We'll say that the Prismacolor pencils do have some interesting colors. If you are a person that prefers an oil-based pencil, you can find most of these colors in the Brute Funer 520 set as well. But those are a bit expensive. Although they are about the same price, a little bit more than the Prisma 150 set. So, yeah, I don't know which one's more expensive. It does work out very, very cheap if you think about it. But a lot of people don't want that many pencils. For me, I like that many pencils. Now I'm going in with the Pale Sage. And I'm going a little bit harder. So I'm adding a little bit darker. especially in the dark side of the moon here. And moving that color through. Just the same as we did on her dress. As I come into the lighter side of the moon here, I'm going to lighten up my hand a bit. And just blend that in to that lighter color. Like so. Doesn't have to be an even line, of course. Nothing in nature. Well, actually, that's not true because a lot of things can be completely even in nature. Now I'm going to go in with the jade green. And now this is where it's important to go around your craters with that gray, that dark gray, because we're using the same color as we use in the crater. And even though we're putting it over top of a much lighter color, it still can blend too much into your crater and give you a very dark area that doesn't look right, because you want the craters to look like they're indented. But you want them to be close to the same color as the moon itself. So as you can see, I'm not going all the way into the edge of the middle shade. I am leaving that open, but I am getting in from the edge of the moon itself. Of course, going around all of the edges of the wing. And just feathering it out a little bit into that medium tone there. Like so. And then we're going to take our medium tone and we're going to soften any edges that we've created. And just blending that color together. I'm going to take this one here and I'm just going to bring it around the edge of the moon. Like that. Then we're going to take our light again and we're just going to blend it all in. And then we're going to take a little tiny bit of cream. And we're going to blend that into the edge here. And then we're going to just add a little bit of deco yellow. I just want a little bit of a glow off the edge. I'm just going off the very edge of the moon here, where those lines are. Just giving it a little bit of a glow. Like that. I'm just going to take a little bit more of the cream, and blend that yellow in a little bit. And then we're going to take our palest tone that we started with, and we're just going to fill it all in. Not too concerned about white spot. White spot is our friend in this situation because it gives texture, it gives movement, which is a good thing when you're coloring a moon. I think I just want a little bit more. Just want that dark side of the moon coming through a little bit more here. Like that. And that is how we are going to color all the moons and all of the stars. So, of course, the stars will be yellows. So we're going to actually do one of the stars here. And we're going to start with let's start with this one, which is lemon yellow. And then we're going to take the cream and we're going to go off the lemon yellow right around the star, giving it that glow. if we really want to. Come back in with the deco yellow and extend it out a little. And I'll come through with the white gel pen and draw around that black area there. And then we're going to take our blending pencil and we're just going to blend that out a bit. Not too concerned about doing this because I'm going to be going through with a black pen and finishing off all of the sky itself. Alright, so the next thing that we're going to work on. So I've done a moon, and that's how we're going to do the moon. So the next thing we're going to work on is some of these plants. So these ones are going to be lighter, these ones are going to be darker. So let's start down here in the darker area under the mushroom. And of course there's shadows from the leaves in front, but also shadows from the mushroom as well. So watch what direction your shadows are coming. You can do that by watching for things in front of you as well as the things in behind you. Now we know our light source is coming from down from the back front to the front. So the shadows are going to be at the tops under the mushroom and at the bottoms as we get further away from the mushroom. Things that have a lot of things in front of it and behind it are shadowed by everything pretty much. They're just darker because that's where they are. They're in the darkest depths. So I'm just going through with marine green, which is a very dark olivey kind of green, into those plants under the edge there. And then we're going to take this one here, which is really short. We're going to take some grass green. We're going to fill them in. Don't worry, it's not going to be this bright green. We are going to dull it down a little bit. Let's see this one. So this is peacock green, which has that touch of blue in it. Just adding it to some of the shadow there. So I'm just filling in all the areas that have leaf with the grass green. And I'm just putting a light layer. I'm not doing anything too heavy. I think back here I did a little too heavy because I think it's a little bit darker than I want it to be. like so. And then we're going to take a lime peel and we're going to sharpen it. And we're going to blend it in. And what it's going to do is it's just going to lighten and brighten the edges and all the areas that there's some white spot. It's still going to give us that dark undertone, that dark color underneath, but it's still going to give us the leafy kind of color that we want it to give. And we'll blend it all in so that it's nice and shiny. And well blended. And I need to sharpen this. Where's my little sharpener? There it is. My poor pitiful blender stub. Try not to make a mess with it. Alright. Dust off all the mess there. And then we're just going to take it and we're just going to blend all that yellowy green and dark green together. Fill in the white spot. Like so. There we have that. Now for these ones up here, we're going to build the color downwards. So we're going to start with the darker color. So we're going to start with grass green in our darker areas. And we're still going to put a bit of darkness in these because it is nighttime. But we're going to put a lot more light in it because they are being touched by the moon. So the areas that the moon is touching it is going to be brighter than in the other areas. So this side here, the moon isn't touching. This side here, sorry guys, I didn't realize I was off camera again. So this side here, the moon isn't touching, but there is going to be a residual light that comes down off the moon on there. Same with this one here. The moon isn't touching this under part. And I won't bore you with just doing all the leaves, so promise. With so many moons up, it's hard to determine exactly where your light sources are coming from or where your lights are going to be. Because we also have the light source here. Alright, and then we're going to take the spring green And we're just going to fill in with the spring green, which is a much lighter green. Now I'm not going all the way to the edge because I'm going to be adding some yellow. For the moonlight as well as the light of the orb. Alright, and I missed an area, so I'm just going to fill it in. There we go. Like so. Now we're going to take our deco yellow, and we're just going to put some yellow in this area here, as well as this area here, and in this area, because we've got the glow coming down off of the moon as well as the orb. Okay, so there's some leaves done. We did a moon. Let's do one of these little vine things. And I think then we have all of the aspects of it done, except for her wings and her hair, and of course the background. And yeah, let's do one of these, and then we will call it a day. And I want to do that in purples or oranges. Let's alternate. Let's start with purple, and then we'll go into an orange. So let's grab some purples here. Let's see, what colors do we have? Need these two, and I think this one. Yeah. What's this one? Yeah. These three. So we've got dioxide purple hue, Parma violet, and violet. And I'm going to start with this one, which is the Parma violet. And I think we're going to do all of the vines themselves purple, and then these round spots we'll do in orange. So let's start with the lightest color, which is the Parma violet. And I'm just putting it all the way up. The stalk here. Make sure you don't color the little ball. The little orb there, we're going to color those orange. And we'll probably give them some glow. So again, make sure you don't go all loopy crazy and color to the very end. And we'll be adding maybe a little bit of light on some of these as well, for the moon as well as the orb. Like these ones here, the orb is going to hit quite a bit. But the basic colors are going to pretty much be the same through all of them. We'll be adding some glow off of the orbs as well. So there'll be some orange glow off of the orbs on the edges where the orbs are as well. That one looks like it has a little face. Like I said, I'm not worried about doing it too hard at this point because we still have finishing touches to put on it. Some shadows, some highlights, that sort of fun stuff. Alright, now we're going to go in with the violet. And I'm working from light to dark. So I'm putting in the medium tones now. And I'm bringing them almost out to where I want that highlight to be. Like so. Okay, sorry guys, I'm not watching the camera enough today. I don't know why. Brain is concentrating too much on what I'm doing and not what I should be doing. That happens sometimes, especially when you get involved in a I won't even say a feature. Well, yeah, I guess it's a feature, a demographic of your coloring page that you're not used to doing. You know, I'm not used to doing squiggly things where I don't know what they are, but you know, it's a fantasy picture, so you're not always going to know what things are. So, and if you do, then you are way ahead of me. I can imagine what they are, but I could not tell you in positivity. But in my imagination, these are wonderful, wonderful purple vines with fantastic glowing orbs. That's the way my brain is saying. Just saying. All right, now we're going to go in with dioxine purple in our deepest shadow areas. once we get the purples down, we will add some glows from the different aspects and get some oranges down and that sort of stuff. Although the way that Monya has drawn this is not giving a lot of glow area from those orbs, so I'm just having to create a little bit of my own. Like so. And I think that's it for there. Now we're going to take orange. Where's my orange? Yeah, yellowed orange will work. And we're going to sharpen it up. I'll turn on a light maybe. Maybe that'll help. It's another sunny day here in Oregon, so the sun is coming and going. So I'm going to add that orange for that glow. And what else? This one here. And I think that's all of them. I think we need a little bit of glow down here too. I think that's all of them. And then we're going to take, nope, not poppy red, orange, regular old orange. Give it a sharpen, and we're also going to take Spanish orange and give it a sharpen. So we're going to start with Spanish orange. I'm just going to go around on the plants a little. With that glow. So any area that hasn't received any sort of blending will pick up that glow. These ones that have the little facey dot things, we're going to leave the little facey dot things, and we will be adding some darker orange to that area. Okay, so that's that part done. Now we're going to go in with the orange, and we're just going to that. And then we're going to go in with the yellowed orange. And blend it in a little. Like so. And then we'll finish it off. A little bit more of the Spanish orange. Just to give it that central glow. And these are really tiny spots. Making sure I give enough variation to show the different areas a little bit. And that's pretty much what we're going to do all the way through, is we're going to, of course, put in our shadows, bring the highlight to the foreground. We want this one. And then we want this one. Make it look all glowy. Same with this. And then we'll add a little bit of this. And finish it off with that. Alright. Okay, so there we have our little glowy fellows. We're going to take our blender. No, don't think I have enough on there. I think I need to go over it again. Don't have nearly enough pigment on the page to use the blender. So I'm just going through and re-adding the colors. Now the colors are fairly close to each other, especially when you get them thicker on the page. But once you blend them in together, they'll look fine. And sometimes that's the most annoying part, is having to add more color when you had it at a point where you liked it. Alright, so for this I'm going to actually use the white. And we're going to start up here. And we're going to move it down the page. And blending that color in with white does give me a little bit more control over the deepness of the color. I didn't want it to be really dark, but I didn't want it to be really light either. And this gives me the ability to control the deepness of it. And white just likes to smooth everything out, so we'll let it. We will allow it to do so. It gives the extra amount of pigment for when you do want to use the blender pencil. It gives you the ability to blend it with the blender pencil without adding more pigment to it. But just like your blender pencil, you do have to clean off the end of your pencil. Otherwise it gets all mucky. And orange and purple make brown. Whether you want it to or not. And that's why I didn't put any down where I knew I was going to be putting the orange. Not too concerned about the back and forth lines as of right this moment, but I will be correcting that and smoothing it out with the blender pencil. Like so. Okay, so we've got the white down. Now we're going to take our blender pencil. Because we've put down the white, we should have more than enough pigment to blend everything together. without making a big mess of it. One thing with the blending pencil is if you don't have enough pigment on the page, it just seems to lift it off instead of making it all shiny and proper. And we don't want that. We want it to be shiny and proper. We want it to be blended, not lifted off. Now, normally on a plant, I would say, embrace the white spot. However, with the type of plant that I'm imagining for this one, it's very smooth and very shiny. So I don't want any white spot on it. Almost slimy looking, you know? Very slick, shiny. If that makes any sense at all. Probably not, but that's okay. You'll see my vision after all is said and done. Alright, so there is the vine done. So we've done the moon, we've done the vine, and we've done a couple of the smaller orbs, as well as the orange orbs in the vines. Once again, like I said, I'm doing these orange orb things in the vines as if they're got little lights in them, as if they're luminescent. So they are going to glow a little bit. And that's why I have the orange on the vine for that glow. Just remember, if you're going to put orange on top of purple, it is going to make brown. So make sure that you leave a little bit of white area for you to put that orange down. And when you're blending, make sure you wipe off your blender every time you go over a purple area so that you don't put that purple into your orange. Alright, I'm going to switch you over to the main camera so you can see what we've done. Okay, so we did the moon, and we did the star, and we did some leaves as well as the purple vines with the orange nodules. So I will continue off camera with the nodules, the leaves, and the moons, and the rest we will finish up on Saturday. Unless I have nothing to show you tomorrow, which I probably will work on it a little bit then as well. So other than that, so that is what I've done so far. I am once again using the Prismacolor Premier pencils. I did use the, let's see, on the nodules I've used, or on the vines I should say, I've used Parma Violet, Dioxine Purple Hue, and Violet. On the nodules I used Spanish yellow, yellow orange, no, Spanish orange, yellow orange, and orange. On the moon, I used the same pencils that I used on her dress, which is slate gray, jade green, gray green light, pale sage, and 90% cold gray. I also added some cream and deco yellow. So these are all, oh, and then we've got some greens that we used as well for the leaves. So we've got lime zest, spring green, grass green, and there's one more. Where is it? Is it this one? No, that's peacock. Oh, there it is. And moss green. So those are all the colors that we have used today. Alright, so with that, I would like to say thank you all very much for watching. I hope that this has helped you color along a little bit. And of course, like I said, work on the leaves, the vines, the nodules on the vines, and that sort of thing. And the moons if you can. And then on Saturday, we will come back. We'll finish up the mushrooms, her wings, her hair, and maybe do a background. All right, until then, always remember to relax, color, and stay safe. And always, always be kind to one another. Until then, bye-bye for now.